and welcome to this week's live trading video. It is just after 8 o'clock and looking at the Aussie dollar here this morning. And so this is a 5-minute chart of it, but seeing some potential. We've got some momentum coming in on the hourly charts here. It's got the potential for a little bit more of an up run. It actually hit its daily 50 forget the telecharts. 50 moving averages, they're no good. But anyway, so it hit the daily 50 first test of just yesterday. So it's around that support zone. I'm looking to buy it just here this morning. I'm going to split the increments because I've got a little 8 a.m. pivot just down here I'd look to buy out. We've also got this 5-minute 50. So I'll be splitting the increments, then putting a stop somewhere below. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Press pause for now while we wait. Okay, we're just coming into this 8 a.m. pivot. It's nearly there. I'm going to put a unit in there, and then I'll put my other units in if we can come down to this white line on my chart down here, the 5-minute 50. So if we can get down to this 8 a.m. pivot, which is nearly there, so I'll put a single unit in there. The reason I do that is because it could just turn around from there, and so I might as well have something in case it just turned around there. But of course, it has the potential to run down to this zone down here. So anyway, first things first, we'll put the unit in here. So this is all done within the risk management, so it's not like adding to losers or anything like that. It's a structured plan to say, okay, I'm going to put something in here, I'll add to it down here if it comes down to there, and then I'll put my stop down below that. So we've not quite hit it yet, so anyway, it looks like I'm going to have to press pause because it's just, oh no, hold on, it's nearly there. Let's see if the Aussie dollar can get there. It's had a good run overnight. And but let's see if it can get there. So I'm just waiting here. Looks like I'm gonna have to press pause because it's holding fire. Okay, I'll press pause. Okay, so it's got there now. So let's get that first unit in. So just gone long at 38 there on this Aussie dollar. My stop's going to be down here at about 20. So about an 18 pip stop from that first entry, but from the second entries it will be significantly less actually. But I think that will be okay. I'll double check that stop loss level, but it looks like it's an okay area to place the stop. Yes. So first entry's long here at 38. So what we're looking at today is we've had this move off of these lows down here, and just looking to see if it can gradually work its way up to this sort of 60 area over here. We'll see. I don't expect it to go up there necessarily straight away. This one could be a slow burner. Looking at the other markets and the structure of what's going on in the dollar yen and the euro dollar, it could be a slow burner. But anyway, that's what I'm looking for. So the first entry is in. And so then I will get the other entries in a bit. There's nothing else at the moment. So yeah, I'll just get the stop sorted out, and then we'll wait and see if this comes down a bit more. Okay, just back, and you can see that the Aussie, if I just bring the black chart up first of all, we can see that it's coming up. So it's not allowed me in with those other units. But this is a good example because if it does run away, it's a good example of why sometimes you put that first unit in just in case it goes, but then you hold back and put some more units in if it does that pullback. But because at least I'm not sitting here without being in at all. But anyway, the target is up at 79.61. The reason we've got that target here today, if I bring up the charts, it's just this pivot. It's just an excuse. It's a daily pivot to say, okay, that will probably do. It's 20 odd pips. That'll do. Now, so that's at 79.61. So we need to put. I don't have to because I quite usually just execute manually. But we're going to put a limit order in. So we'll put the limit order in just ahead of that. So 79.60. I'll put the limit order in there. So that is now in just ahead of that pivot. Okay, I'll press pause now. Okay, just back, and so the Aussies come up, and it's not too far away from target, but it could still want to do another pullback yet. So it's had a bit of a run, but it's not got to target yet. So the potential is still to add to the position yet on this pullback to a 5-minute 50, this white line. Now this 5-minute 50 is already almost higher than my first entry, so I'd only add 1 unit now. One thing that I wanted to do though was tell you that I'm moving the stop up now. So that initial stop was down there at 20, so let's bring up the deal ticket. So it's up at 20. It's at 20, but I've just been talking to the guys in the room because I'm obviously trading with the guys in the room here this morning. So I'm moving that stop up to 27 for the time being. So I'm moving, just trading it up a little bit now, and holding it below these key moving averages still. But I've moved the stop up to 27. The initial entry was at 38, so I'm still giving it plenty of slack, but I've moved the stop up to 27. And just as I've started talking, it's starting to come up a little bit again. So we're still going to see whether this thing is going to do a pullback, in which case I'll get another entry in, or if it's just going to go straight to 60. Now, well, it could go blasting through 60 and go to 70. If we look at the, let's get rid of that, move this one across, and on the hourly charts, the potential is to go all the way up to this hourly 50 right up here. So it could do, but I was talking to the guys here. They're listening as I do this. People ask about these videos. Well, yeah, I'm doing them whilst I'm doing this. We're doing the session in the live trading room. So, but I was talking about this Aussie dollar this morning, and this big move we've had just over the last couple of days. This is still deemed to be what we're in now, is a bit of a retracement against that move. So I'm not too fussed about trying to run it and hold it and everything else, even though yes, maybe it does go higher. But I think that target that I've got there at the daily pivot, let's bring that back up again, is still okay. So having that target there, so we're not going to be looking to try and run it or anything like that. Just that I'll have to just do. Okay, I'll press pause for now. Okay, just back, and I was just chatting with the guys about this Aussie dollar. So it's pulling back here for the 5-minute 50. You can see this 5-minute 50 white line here. So I'm just going to have to talk quickly. So it didn't quite get to the pivot, got within 5 pips, and so and it's now doing its pullback. So I'm going to get a second unit in here on the Aussie dollar today. The stops are only going to be at 27 as well. So 27 is still below my lower bands down here as well on the hourly chart. The one risk to the trade is that the Aussie dollar has hit my upper bands here on the 4-hour chart, so I'm well aware of that. So it could just want to roll over from here, but we're going to see if it can still push that bit higher yet. It's just in a pullback mode here on the hourly charts, and just see if it can push that bit higher still yet to come. It hasn't got a lot further to go to get to the pivot, so we'll see if it can get up there anyway. I like the fact right from the beginning of the day that we are on this daily 50, so I see the potential for the bounce today. So it's the first test of that daily 50 since we broke out, so I do like that long side scenario. So let's take this back to the 5-minute chart. If we can pull back down to the white line here, that'll be my 5-minute 50, then I'll get that second unit in, which it works out, as it turns out, it's going to be at about the same level, maybe a little bit higher, as the first entry. But and we got close, as you see, we got up to about 55 up here, so it was within 5 pips of the highs, but it's obviously now doing a pullback. So I think it is going to now take some time today. I'm not expecting this to play out probably for quite a few hours, maybe until this afternoon. But anyway, first things first, we'll see if we can get down to this 5-minute 50, and we'll put a second unit in there. So I'll press pause for now. Okay, right, so we're nearly here at the 5-minute 50. Now that didn't quite hit there. Okay, didn't quite hit, so I'll just press record because I was expecting it to come down and hit, and it's not quite hit. So but I was going to get this second unit in. So let's just have a quick look at the other charts to make sure that it's not hit on one and not on another. No, it hasn't. So okay, so it definitely hasn't hit. So I'm gonna have to wait now. Press pause. Okay, right, so here we go. So there's the second unit finally. Now the first unit was in what, 2 hours ago, and this is the thing that's funny actually. One of the our members was saying earlier on about, because I said, oh, this trade could take some time today, and of course it came straight up. And sometimes you've got to be careful what you say, because or careful what you wish for, because they said, oh no, it's come straight up, it's going to be a quick trade. It's not. It's not got to that level. So anyway, right. So the second entry is in. I'll have the stop at the same level as the other entry. So 79. 27. Now, if I put mine in at 79.27, that means I'll get stopped out about 79.26. It'll have to go down into the 26 area, so it's down here to actually get me stopped out. So, okay, so that's all I've got in. I'll put the limit order in. I've forgotten to put that in, so I'll put, because I'm going to be heading to the gym shortly. So I'll put the I'm not expecting it to go up while I'm out. I'm expecting probably this to come a bit lower on the hourly charts here. It can come down to my lower bands on the hourly charts. So I would actually be expecting, although I've gone in at the 5-minute 50, and much like I went in at that level earlier on, you can't always be completely exact. So you put it in because you say, look, it's a decent enough area. But I can see the potential for it to come down that little bit lower, and then maybe, hopefully, even if it is going to come up, it'll slowly creep its way back up later. So if it's going to work out, I would expect this to take well into this afternoon before it works out today. So anyway, I shall press pause for now. Okay, just back, and when I last was here, we were just taking this trade off the 5-minute 50, if you remember, and I've been down to the gym. So since being to the gym, just not long been back in. And obviously it's come up and it's hit that daily pivot. It's actually surpassed the daily pivot. Not that, but that was okay. I said I was not too fussed. Here was the pivot. So at 60, I don't know why it's saying 62. Oh, it's not. That was at 61. So I'll show you the orders in a second. So it's surpassed that, but I wasn't too fussed about that because, like I said this morning, the 4-hour chart was still very much overall, and also obviously been coming down. So I wasn't going to try and run it too much, but definitely there was that opportunity, that potential based on the daily charts and what had happened down here with the daily 50. So if we go back to the entries, then let's just take this to a 5-minute time frame. Can you see all this? Okay, yes, you can. So if we take this back to a 5-minute time frame, the first entry this morning was here, which was where that 8 a.m. pivot was. We took that first entry, and it started running from there. And if you remember, I put that first unit in and pre-planned to then add 2 more units down here at the 5-minute 50 if it had come down here this morning, because at that point with a stop down here at 20, then it's a nice still manageable risk, and it's all nice and small relatively speaking. And but it didn't. It leapt off. We still ended up using the 5-minute 50, but then only put the 1 added unit in when it came back here because it had gone that bit higher, I guess. Mind you, I'd trailed the stop as well, hadn't I? Anyway, whatever. So, I hadn't thought of that. I wasn't actually expecting it to go up, so quickly while I was out. I was expecting it to probably hold. If you remember, I was talking about that hourly chart and the potential for it to come down to the hourly bands, but it obviously never did that, and it's then gone straight up. So, but those are the 2 entries today, and I think it was they were the way that it's panned out. I think nothing wrong with the entries. The entries were fine. The add-in was fine. But again, hopefully you can see that sometimes you take trades and it warrants splitting the orders up. Now, as it turned out today, it didn't really make much difference between the first entry and the second entry, but it does warrant doing it. But anyway, let's bring up. I'll just take a screenshot of the trades because I'm in other swing trades at the moment, which I don't really want you to see. I guess I could show you, but no, I can't because one of them is too close to my entry price, and so. Anyway, right, so here were the 2 entries this morning. If you remember, that first entry was at 79.38. Here was my exits. Bang on. I put those limit orders in, so it's executed me bang on those. And then that second entry was at 40, and then that exit there. So it looks like it was a £308 gain for today. So that's pretty much it for today. First week back. What I'm going to do from next week is start getting back into doing those Wednesday videos as well. I've been a bit slack over the summer with it being the summer, so I'll start getting back into doing those Wednesday videos as well. Have a lovely weekend, and I'll see you next week.